Hey, mother duckers!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, and welcome to... What's the fucking show called?
Retro Duck!
Hello, and welcome to the Ducking Review Show, Retro Duck, Die Hard.
Mother lickers.
Thanks, Matt, for your wonderful intro. It was fantastic. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the full film Die Hard as a part of our 80s action series. The penultimate episode. We've got one next week where we'll be looking at...
The week after.
Well, the week after RoboCop. Just want to remind people that our competition that we started last week is still open until probably next week, I'd say. Like
next Wednesday.
Or Friday, we'll close it when we do the pod.
Whatever. If
Or
we've
Wednesday.
seen it before we record it,
Then
we'll include it.
Yeah.
We record on a Wednesday, so Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah.
We've let people peek behind the curtain now.
Oh, we have.
We record on Mystery Day.
And you can tweet us at DuckingPod. And obviously, DuckingPod. I was trying to make it sound more sexy. You can email in at theduckingpodcast@gmail.com.
That's sexier.
Was it? I felt dirty.
At Ducking Pod.
Yeah.
Podding for your pleasure.
That we'll keep that. The competition is to let us know your favourite year in cinema, and we're not on about box office hits or like biggest sales. We're on about your personal favourite films that came out in a year. So
The year of the goodest films.
exactly. And we'll do an episode or a bit of an episode where we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our favourite years in cinema, and we'll just have a bit of an open discussion. The competition is to win a pair of cinema tickets, which is a pretty cool prize, I think. We've had a few entries, so keep them coming in. On with the goods. Die Hard. Directed by John McTiernan.
Yep.
Well done.
Yeah, I practiced it.
Could you not say it?
Well, I practice everything. Writers. Yeah, there are more than one. Written by Roderick Thorpe, sort of. He wrote the novel, which is called Nothing Lasts Forever.
This was a novel.
Yeah, I want to read it, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Definitely want to read it. Okay, so previous films that have been directed by this director include The Thomas Crown Affair, not the original, obviously, The 13th Warrior, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Last Action Hero, awesome, Medicine Man, The Hunt for Red October, also awesome, obviously, Die Hard, Predator,
Yes.
and Nomads, which was 1986.
The obvious ones there. Well, the obvious one is Predator.
Yeah, well, in
The year
terms
before,
of brilliant.
It's just like awesome.
What a run. Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
I've
Really
not
good.
seen Medicine Man, so can't
It's
comment.
Sean Connery, isn't it, where he's a rainforest medicine
I've
shaman
seen
style
that, I
man or
think,
something.
yeah.
He's not the shaman.
Have you seen it?
I don't know.
I think so,
I've not
yeah.
seen it, but yeah. I mean, John McTiernan. He also directed the remake of Rollerball
Oh,
in
right.
like 2000 or something. Didn't
Really?
He? Yeah. Interesting you should say about the writing. I'm just going to get onto this, because this is an interesting fact.
I'm just going to carry on.
Oh, you
before
carry
we
on,
do
and
that.
then I'll...
The screenplay, Jeb Stewart. Blood Done Sign My Name. That's not me speaking retardedly. That's Blood Done Sign My Name. Switchback, Fire Down Below, Just Cause, The Fugitive, Another 48 Hours, Vital Signs, Lock Up, Leviathan, and Die Hard. So,
Leviathan.
Yeah.
Leviathan.
Yeah, however you want to say it. Some people say it the way I said it.
How's it written?
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yeah, or Leviathan.
You just said the beginning of the word and the end.
Yeah.
You missed out the
I
middle.
missed that syllable there.
Fully did. Awful presenting so far. Go on, I think what you were going to say was more interesting.
This film, apparently, this is like something I've read and I heard of someone a few years ago, that this film was originally intended as a sequel to Commando.
No way.
Seriously, this is like the thing, right? And John McTiernan was writing it as a sequel, so he must have been adapting this book into the sequel to Commando or something. He said, Tony, do you want to be in Commando sequel? Do this. And he was like, no. So then they rewrote it into Die Hard and then they offered it to Arnie again, and he said no. And then it was offered around a few different people that I wrote down. And this is all, stuff off IMDb, to be honest, this next bit.
It's what we do!
But yeah, apparently it was offered to Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, Sly Stallone. But yeah, and then they all turned it down, and then it was offered to Bruce Willis.
Jesus.
Wow. They all turned it down?
Yeah.
Would it have been the same film? I mean, and obviously it would it have been as good?
It would have been too smooth if it was Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
It would have been a bit like, Sly Stallone.
That wouldn't have worked.
No.
Mel Gibson.
Maybe.
I mean, the thing is, this is the film that launched Bruce Willis as a movie star.
Yeah.
Previously to this, he'd been in some films, but he was most famous for being in a TV show called Moonlighting.
Yeah, have you seen any of that?
I remember it from the 80s, but
It's been on telly every now and then. It's quite...
have you seen it? It's meant to be good. It's
funny.
really popular.
Yeah,
It's one of those kind of romantic sitcoms, will they, won't they, sort of things. And eventually they did, and then it finished because you can't maintain the show if you get rid of what's the main element to the show. Will these guys have to do it?
Yeah.
They did. Oh well, we're not interested anymore.
Spoilers.
I remember it, yeah, something about it ending. I remember reading about that, like the love interest, kind of, they could only run it so far, but I guess that's enough of Moonlight.
So Bruce Willis, the one that launched him into a star, Alan Rickman, his first feature film.
Really?
Alan Rickman's first feature film.
Really?
Yeah. He'd been in TV shows from the stage, and he'd been in a TV movie. But this is his first feature.
Wow. I
And I heard that from him, not personally, but in an
he was
interview.
on the bus,
I was
wasn't he?
listening to an interview about his most recent film a bit ago, and he was talking about how that was his first feature film.
That's
So that's
insane.
mad, isn't it?
That always
He also said, and this is amazing, that when they were making the film, because he'd never worked on a film before, he didn't really know how it worked. He was just used to being on the stage and being able to make, suggest stuff. And originally, the film was the baddies were just kind of meant to be in boiler suits and stuff. And he was the one who suggested that they should all be wearing really amazing suits.
Wow.
He suggested, yeah.
That changed film
That changed
forever.
the dynamic of it completely. I mean,
But even films forever.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that whole 80s... Oh! That whole 80s sort of bad guys in suits, they're sort of suave
kind of
business
late
people
80s
that are a
film.
bit deadly.
But I mean, it's in the late 80s, but yeah, it definitely made it, the dynamic and how the film works completely different to how you would imagine. They're sophisticated, criminals.
Yeah, smarter than your average criminal.
Yeah.
Bit like a Yogi Bear criminal.
They're kind of crazy for picnic baskets.
Yeah. Going for saves.
So yeah, I mean...
baskets.
So yeah. Die Hard.
That's the film. Done.
That's
Cut,
the end
print.
of it. Yogi Bear, suits, action. Let's start with
Shall we talk
first time you remember seeing it.
Right, okay, well
Roughly,
this is
it's
really
hard.
interesting, quite funny, because there's certain points that I remember about when I watched it, and I remember watching it and loving it, and I remember that I watched it on TV in probably 1995, maybe a bit earlier than that, but it was on TV, and so obviously a lot of the bad swearing was taken out of it. So the famous Yippy Ki line, that was Yippy Ki Kimasabi.
I think we would have seen it at
Yeah, you probably
around
would
the
have
same
seen it.
time.
And it was
Was it ITV or...
Yeah, it would have been, yeah. I didn't see the full uncensored, but you know what I mean, the proper version until maybe it came out on DVD,
Wow, really?
late 90s.
Whoa.
So I knew what the line was for some reason, I knew what...
The games?
Don't know, I think it's just one of them lines that's in the zeitgeist, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we can say the line, I guess.
Of course we
Yeah,
can.
Yippee Ki-yay, motherfucker.
We're going to be saying it more than once.
So to change that to Kimasabi, you lose the best line.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Kimasabi.
Which is mad. But yeah, I mean, I first watched it, so I must have been about 15, 16, 15 probably. And yeah, I loved it.
I was a bit younger, probably. I stayed up and watched a lot of films when I was meant to be asleep.
Well, I think when I watched it, it was the first time it had been on telly, because it took like 5 years for a film to come on.
Yeah. It took a long time for films to come out on video.
Yeah.
Really long time.
I remember, like, when I had the Star Wars box set or something on VHS, and they were like kind of trying to sell you the widescreen version, and it's like, oh well, when you've seen it on the small screen and standard definition, and it has a little square in the centre of the screen, and
the pan and scan.
The pan and scan, and then it showed that in the centre of the screen, but you're not seeing the full version, and it showed the bit with the lift blowing up, and it kind of just it goes from like 4:3 to like mega widescreen. So it's like, yeah, man, I need to see it in widescreen. And like, I'm sure it was on like Star Wars or Aliens or something like that trailer.
That makes sense. Like, so I remember seeing that. Yeah, I remember the pan and scan adverts.
It was kind of like the trailers for DVD. And then, like, I loved the thing on, like, one DVDs when they try to sell you Blu-ray. And they say, this is a standard film in DVD, but this is, like, almost saying, like, what they're showing you is the Blu-ray version on a DVD.
Yeah, they do pretend that. Yeah, they do. And you're like, well, do they increase the contrast? I'm sure. They put a mask on it, don't they?
They probably put, like, make it look crap.
Yeah.
But it can look this much better. I'm watching a DVD. How's it going to look like a Blu-ray? If anything, it proves you don't need a Blu-ray. Which you do need a Blu-ray. But in the instance of owning a DVD and not having like a HD telly, and you just got like a telly, you're watching it, it looks a bit better, but it's on the DVD already. What's that? Weird tangent.
It's true. It's probably only going to get worse with the advent of 4K, etc., etc. Matt, first time you saw Die Hard, don't say last night.
Oh no, it wasn't last night. I honestly can't remember the first time I watched it. I remember playing the games, the PlayStation games, before I can remember actually seeing it, I think.
Yeah, we could talk about the games.
Because I think
the Die Hard trilogy PS1.
Yeah, it was mint.
They were amazing games.
My cousin had it, and he had the gun as well.
Yeah.
So he could play, I think it was...
Die Hard 2.
Yeah. Oh, it was sick.
Yeah.
Time Crisis.
I mean, the weird thing is about that game, I can't remember the game for Die Hard 1.
No.
I remember Die Hard 2, and I remember Die Hard 3 because you're just mowing people down GTA style, just through Central Park and stuff.
Those are the two that you played the most.
Yeah, the first one
was the third person, wasn't it?
It was third person. It was like isometric.
Yeah, that's right.
And you were like running up through the offices.
Yeah.
It was like
rubbish,
it was 3D, but isometric. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
You only ever played the taxi one for the third film,
and
the shooting one.
Yeah, the first one.
Which is weird because when I watched Die Hard, I only watched any of them. I only watched the first one. I don't watch two.
I can't remember the last time I watched the other two. But I plan to. I plan to watch them again. I mean,
not 4, not 5.
No. I'd forgotten that they'd even been made, to be honest.
Kind of
wasn't the fifth one's tagline Yippy Ki, Mother Russia?
Yeah.
Oh my God, really?
Russia.
It's like it's the Indiana Jones effect, isn't it? Like you see it as a trilogy of films. You don't really. Yeah,
ignore the other one.
So you don't really remember the first time you saw it, but you think it was probably late 90s, probably early noughties.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And you've it's hard to reach back to something you don't remember.
How did you feel on that? You don't have.
Yeah, your feeling of that.
Yeah. How was it the second time?
Yeah, it's always better the second time.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed it. I've always liked it. The one I always get them mixed up though. Like I was saying to Lee earlier on.
How?
Because there's similar bits in each one. Like, and I'm sure in the I get them mixed up still. See, the
second one is the airport.
Yeah,
there's a bit in that I'm sure where he's crawling through the air ducts.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah,
like
probably.
He does in the first one.
That's the thing. They rehash things, don't they? They rehash stuff, and
it's just little bits like that. And like the villains, I was convinced that the other guy was the bad guy in the first one.
Oh yeah, the football fan. Yeah, can't remember his name. Not that that's important. I think my first viewing was probably around about the same time as when Lee saw it, and I was sort of stayed up really late, and then just sort of watched it secretly in my room. Don't put TVs in your kids' rooms. I think it's probably the advice for that one.
I think I recorded it, like, like as you used to do when it was on, so you record it. I watched it like quite a bit with that no swearing rule. I think it was just that particular one, because I think that's like, that's seen as like motherfucker is worse than fuck.
It's hard to think back to those days because it's so overused and the censorship's so less.
Well, it wasn't 18, it's a 15 now, isn't it? But it wasn't 18 when it came out.
But obviously, I guess people were a bit more sensitive to stuff like that, a lot more, weren't they?
People cared more.
So on that then, most of the good lines must have been cut from
Well, I don't think they were. I mean, the best line wasn't cut. We'll
Did
get
they
to
just
that later.
re-record them or redub them or something?
I don't know if this is true, but part of me thinks that back in the day, people would, like they do, is it ADR?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When people
what is that for the people that don't know?
When you record, like in a film, all the lines are recorded on set, but the actual bit used in the film is recorded in a studio, just so it's clearer and so that the director can shout stuff at people. More motherfuckers or whatever, like through his little like cone megaphone thing.
More flair.
Yeah.
More his ass.
More Twinkie.
There's loads of Twinkies. Twinkies, didn't he? So I don't know, but I used to love it. I still do think it's one of the best action movies going, and like in terms of.
Should we talk about story, the thin plot?
You just make a point now.
Yeah, I just think in terms of like 1980s action movies, this is kind of like the full stop.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you got cheesy 80s action movies, and then this comes out, and it didn't put an end to it. But what it did was, it's like, this is an action movie that has all the violence and everything, and all the swearing, has like the gratuitous, like, 80s booms here and there that like they're still in there. It's all wrapped up in a much more sophisticated kind of film.
It really is. Like, without a doubt, it does feel like the cheese has been sort of taken away and turned down, and it's just, is it style? Is it more stylised? Is that what has made it that?
I think what it is, who's he fighting against? It's one man against 10 people.
Yeah.
You look back at Commando, which we do, that was one man against 100 people, and he kills them all in the space of 7 minutes.
And it's ridiculous, completely.
Yeah, whereas he's a fallible hero, you know what I mean? He's got no shoes on, which is, he ends up battered and bruised. He's like, Arnie's like the godlike Herculean action hero, isn't he? Yeah.
Untouchable.
Whereas, like, Sly Stallone does all the uber violence, but he does it with a much more kind of like, look at Rambo and Rocky, and he's always the underdog somehow in the film. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially like the first Rocky, but even like the second and the third Rocky and the fourth Rocky, he's always the underdog, even though he's going to win. And Arnie's like, he's never going to lose, and McClane, he's kind of like. Bruce Willis in this particular film is fallible. You can identify with him on such a higher level, can't you? Yeah, he's an everyman sort of character. He's got a vest on, trousers on, no shoes.
He's having a bad day.
Yeah.
I just totally. That's a really good point. Well made. Shall we go into the story? What story there is?
I mean, the basic overarching plot is terrorists take over a building to steal some bail bonds. But you don't know what they're stealing at the beginning, but it's to steal bail bonds, isn't it? But they're stealing hundreds of millions of pounds worth of money, basically.
650 million, off the top of my head.
Wow.
So fair bit of
I didn't even have that written down. I just
that's a hell of a lot of money.
And John McClane, Bruce Willis, he is a New York cop coming to LA to see
she's a little bit estranged.
Yeah.
They're not. She's gone to work for this company. It's a big career move for her. He kind of seems like he didn't want her to go. He stayed in New York.
Didn't support her, did he?
Yes, and she said, well, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And then he comes down for Christmas so he can spend Christmas with the kids. Comes to this party at the hotel, which is when terrorists turn up.
Terrorists.
Well, but they're not terrorists, they're thieves. But
Old school.
Yeah. Like, not what we call terrorists.
No, the old definition of terrorists.
Yeah.
But less said about that. But, yeah, the old school version of terrorists.
Good old school terrorists. Bing then.
Whatever. Yeah. Old school terrorists with machine guns and suits.
Yeah. And fake German accents.
C4.
Yes. And C4 badasses.
It's so yeah, it's a really simple setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a fair bit to talk about. I mean, there's the whole thing of him coming in on the plane. There's the his limo driver, and it's set on Christmas Eve. I've not mentioned it's Christmas Eve, and this is the thing. This film I watch every year.
Same.
Around about Christmas time.
It's on the Christmas list.
Yeah, it's a Christmas film,
but
in a sense.
I'm sure in the States it was released around Christmas time, but in the UK for some reason it was delayed. So it didn't come out till it was like March or April.
In 89,
Really?
Yeah,
in '89.
Well, for me, it's always been.
But that was the way it was then.
A Christmas film. So, that much of a delay with US and UK
Everything.
releases. I
Things
remember
that come out in America.
with games as well about that as well.
Yeah, like
more of a
like how
universal
Star
market,
Wars
isn't
didn't
it?
come out here till like miles later, like back end of '77, maybe '78.
It's crazy, I guess, with the advent
So
of the
lots of
internet
kids-
and global
This is the mad
shrinkage.
thing, like with Star Wars, all the kids had the merchandise of Star Wars before they'd even seen it in this country, because it had been like, this is Star Wars, it's amazing, and all the merchandise come out in time.
They were selling with that much conviction.
Well, because everyone heard it was a
Yeah.
smash hit, it was a phenomenon, and everyone was like, wow, yeah, I can't wait to see Star Wars, better get the toys now.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
We
I
would
don't
have
know.
had the toys. We would have had the toys before the film. I played with the toys way before I knew what the film was even about. My brother, who's your age, had the. I'm sure he had an Atari, he had a Snow Speeder, and there was another one. He had Boba Fett's Slave One.
I'd seen the films at the cinema. Well, I saw Return of the Jedi at the cinema.
I didn't see them until I was
I'm
probably
pretty
a lot
sure
older.
I was taken to watch Empire Strikes Back, but I was so young that I don't remember it.
Lucky you.
Yeah, kind of lucky, but that sort of sucks.
I remember when it was on telly. This is weird. It's weird that we're going to Star Wars.
Yeah, we've got to stop
Happens
doing
every
this.
time.
We've got to stop doing this.
It was like, and Empire Strikes Back was on telly for the first time, so I hadn't really seen it before, even though I had. And I had, some bits of it, I could kind of remember the imagery of it, and it's the bit where C-3PO is trying to get up the ramp into the Millennium Falcon, and I could that image was in my head already, because I was so excited to see it, and I was thinking about it, and that somehow I remember that image being in my mind before I even watched it again.
It's such a weird one. Mine was Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Really weird, but with no context at all. Just like a slug man. What is this film? I don't know, there's a slug man in it. And I don't remember if he's good or bad.
Slug man, Lucky the Bear, and some metal helmet dude.
I love this film. Right, come on,
Back
Die
to
Hard.
So I guess what we need to do, we need to cut to the point where the terrorists come in, they take control of the building, the Nakatomi Plaza. Interesting fact, that building is the headquarters of Fox.
Is it? I was going to ask if anyone knew where it was.
Yeah, it's the headquarters
of
of Fox.
Seeing it and think that's quite a striking
They just
building.
built it and they shot it there. It's a Fox, made by Fox Film, so there you go.
Cheap.
Yeah.
What a building.
Yeah.
So
Fucked it up
Japanese.
inside.
Yeah, try
and all those massive explosions around the bottom of it, obviously they're real, because there wasn't computer effects, so they blew the hell out of it.
That's so awesome. Right, I mean, we know that terrorists come in, they attack, and
John McClane.
But let's get to how he's not caught up with it.
Well, he'd been told on the aeroplane by some guy, because he starts off with him on the aeroplane, and he says, "Don't like flying, huh?" And says, "What I do to relieve the stress, I make fists with my toes on the carpet."
That stuck with me.
And then, like, so he's in this office, like, making fists with his toes.
Did you try it?
Yes.
Yeah, I do it.
Yeah,
when you watch it, I was just going...
I do
quite
it.
nice, actually, isn't it?
I do it loads. I do it when I'm nervous.
It doesn't wear with your socks on.
It feels horrible.
Yeah, it just builds up some nice static.
I do it with my shoes on.
I don't think it works with your shoes
No,
on.
because it redirects your attention to your feet. It reconnects you. It's a weird thing. Oh. Honestly, yeah, if you want to become a bit more grounded.
Zen.
Yeah, it really works. The whole feet in your... Do it in your shoes. Do it in your socks. Do it barefoot.
Do it in the nude.
So he's separated making fists with his toes. There's some...
That's such a weird sentence.
And the terrorists come in, right? And the first bit of 80s nudity, there's some people in an office doing it.
Office sex.
Also, before he's making fists with his toes, he's introduced to the guy Ellis. We need to mention Ellis now.
Ellis,
who's like the
1980s
1980s douchebag cokehead. So he's introduced to him.
I don't have anything else to say about that.
He comes into
yes,
it.
He is.
He comes into it a bit more later on, doesn't he?
What about the limo guy?
Yeah, well, there's the
That's
limo
key.
guy.
He's not.
He
is. He's really key later on.
Later on.
Later on, he becomes like he's a pivot.
But also, he's playing the Run DMC Christmas song.
Yes.
In the
He's
limo.
November 25th. I can't remember the words.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He reinstates the fact that it's a Christmas film as well. It's Christmas time.
actually.
When you watch it at Christmas, just do it. Watch it at Christmas, and you'll be like, "Yeah, my God, I didn't realise how much of a Christmas film this actually is." Hope, that's in there.
Joy to the world.
Gifts, snow,
Cocaine.
yeah, office parties,
Boobs.
machine guns.
So anyway, terrorists come in.
Santa hats.
Terrorists come in. We're playing separate. In an office, there's some people doing it. There's some like unnecessary boobs. I found them very necessary when I first watched it.
At that age, all of them are necessary.
Yeah. And then there's a bit
sort of worn out.
Yeah.
It was just stuck.
Rewind it. Just trying to see the nipple between the lines of the tracking.
I can't move my head up and down. I can see it.
Pause. Why are they shaking?
Bouncing backwards and forwards.
You got the scene then. Once McLean's separated, then I think it's a scene with... What's the guy called?
Alan Rickman.
No, Alan Rickman. And the person who owns the building, the CEO guy.
Oh,
Takagi, Mr. Takagi.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's brutal.
Yeah, and he just kills him.
Yeah, it's like really brutal.
What
like,
does he say? He says
in.
something really awesome. Such a shame to ruin a nice suit or something.
Oh, yeah. It's going on for ages, isn't he? When they sort of pick him out of the party, don't they? And like, come with me. And he takes him up in the lift. And he's like... I can't do the impression anymore because I'm making that. But he wants to know the password, doesn't he, for the vault and stuff like that.
Can you do that again?
No, it just came out.
It was really good.
Broken Carl.
Oh God.
There's some good ones later on.
I'm joking.
But yeah, he's going on about his suit, isn't he? And he's going, oh, it's like some so-and-so from London.
Some Savile Row, yeah.
Such a shame.
He goes, I've got to. Something like that.
I've got to.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
And then they get up there and he's like quizzing him for ages, and he gets his gun out, and then he's just like, such a shame to ruin a nice suit. Boom!
So yeah, and John McClane's watching this from the next room and sees it.
Yeah.
Is he watching it through a window?
He's in the next room
He's
from
under
window.
a table, isn't he? Like peeking his head around the end of the table. It's that proper like action comedy stuff that he does really well.
Yeah.
Like his head's poking round and he's like, oh, what's going on in there?
Bruce Willis
He's looking through the door, isn't he?
He's good in this film.
Yeah.
He is. He's really good. The facial expressions, like the little things that add to it. I'll give him a medal for it.
Yeah, so that happens.
Yeah.
Then he legs it upstairs, doesn't he? He sees that and he's like, shit.
Is this the first of our... No, we haven't gone into the stairwell yet, have we?
He goes up the stairs,
This is how he goes up the stairs now. Yeah.
Right.
And he's trying to call the cops on the radio. No. But he goes upstairs and doesn't he see someone trying to plant the C4?
No, what happens is, he tries to get out, wants to kill them. He makes a noise and they all hear.
Yeah.
But he's hidden in this little office room.
Yeah.
and he's locked the door, which is really funny because they're like, check around everywhere and there's no one there, and there's this one locked door, and like try to open it and then go, well, he's obviously not in there. And then
a door that can only be locked on the inside.
He's disappeared. So then they all like bugger off, and then I think he gets out, and that's when he starts with the stairwell games.
He has that interaction with just one police officer, doesn't he? The patrol cop. Yeah. Who's a dude in himself. Have you seen that Family Guy episode where Brian's got that takes a girl back to his room and he's like, yeah, I was an actor and I was in a film, I'll play it, and he plays back and it's literally Die Hard, that scene where they're outside. He's just a police dog just drawn into it.
Like scans across and all the rest of the police have turned. And he's just there going,
just looking around. I love it.
Yeah, so he ends up... So a guy finds him, doesn't he? Right, and he kills the guy under the table. He's under the table, and the guy's on the table trying to shoot him.
That's a different part.
Is it?
Yeah, that
you
is,
can tell
yeah.
I've been called in watching it.
What happens?
We've watched it every year, but apparently that's not good enough.
It's true, it isn't.
I told you have to refresh me.
No, we should have done.
Yeah.
I watched Chinatown. I had no excuse.
We'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, so he gets away from that bit. He goes upstairs, and he's looking through all the floors, and that's when he sees them all, and he's like, oh, 32. They're doing that. 33. Oh, they're doing that. And he keeps going up.
Yeah.
Oh, these are floor numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, he ends his guy right
He
at
gets
the top.
so high, and there's one dude up there, and he, like, has a little fracas with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, no. He goes... This is it. I remember that. He gets to the top, and he pulls the fire alarm.
Yeah, to get the fire brigade.
Get the fire brigade here.
But it brings a guy.
But all that happens is the guy who's knocked the security guy out. Oh, he hasn't knocked him out, he's shot him.
They're all patched in, aren't they, to all the security systems
like,
and stuff.
He gets through to the police.
Sophisticated men.
It's like proper 80s hacking.
It is.
None of that computer shit, they just patch straight in with like crocodile clips on the wires and
they're in, yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense, doesn't matter.
So yeah, they try to get the fire brigade to come, but
they ring up and the guy on the desk says, no, that's just the false alarm, dudes.
Yeah.
And then he's still there going, where are you going? Or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's banging out the window.
Like they'll hear him.
Yeah. Dudes are good.
And then the guy comes up and finds him and he kills that guy.
Yeah.
And is he the guy sent down in the lift?
Yeah.
Right. So
there's no shame in skipping out story bits and just going to our favourite bits.
Yeah.
It's not the action.
So he kills a guy. He gets his machine gun off him, and then he sees like he puts he's got a jumper on, hasn't he? And then he writes a bit of paper.
No, he just writes a shirt on his shirt.
Yeah, straight on him.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Sends a lift down to their floor.
He puts the Santa hat on as well. Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah.
You see the theme here? It's a Christmas film.
Yeah, and then it comes down, and at that point, when it comes down, Alan Rickman's talking to the hostages.
Yeah.
And it opens and he goes up to it and he goes, now I have a machine gun. Hop, hop, hop. I sound like a Gestapo officer.
Yeah, you sound proper German.
But that's I'm meant to. It's good.
He doesn't though, he just sounds like Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, this is another fact.
Yeah, go on.
There's bits where they talk German in the film. Right, that's all wrong. That's not proper actual German. It's kind of the grammar and stuff's wrong or whatever.
So it's just sort of
so they redubbed everyone else's lines apart from Alan Rickman's. He's still saying the wrong German because it's Alan Rickman and people would notice. Yeah. But the other people, they've gone over it. Got the same actors back. Yeah.
Right, that is really interesting for a particular reason. They decided to redub, but not Alan Rickman
because he's famous.
But that was his first
role.
Because his voice is
they redubbed it like not then, like 10 years later.
Oh right.
Right, so it went out when it came out in Germany, all the Germans were going, well, that's wrong.
That just sounds stupid. It'd be like somebody in English.
And so they went back.
The dog and door. No, I don't know why they've got an accent. But
they went back like after the fact, after it's been out, and redubbed some of the people. Apart from Alan Rickman.
I misunderstood you. I thought you meant at the time they'd redone it, and I was thinking that even then, on his first film, they decided no, this guy's voice is too recognisable and good. Yeah.
Well, shall we say that's true? Like, go with the legend rather than...
Yeah, I'd rather go with the legend. On his first film, Alan Rickman was so recognisable.
He had so much gravitas.
Yeah, that they went, we can't change him, we'll change the rest,
They
not
couldn't
him.
even tell it was wrong. It was so convincing. Yeah. I thought it was right.
Is that our first key moment with the man that comes down the elevator and says, and now I have a machine?
That is one of the key bits. You can get that. You can get that as a Christmas jumper, can't you?
Yeah,
it's a miracle I don't own it.
Yeah, we should all get one.
Yeah, we should. Also available soon, Ducking Review Show blazers and tie box sets.
To us,
we're getting them. If you want one, write in. We'll make one for you. At a premium, not at a profit, but we'll
cost
at a cost. Yeah,
plus postage.
Yeah,
and that.
Moving on. That's our first key scene. I think we should move along to roughly what.
And what I mean, there's a bit more to that scene because the guy who kills it turns out is the main henchman's brother, isn't it? And he starts kicking shit up, just smashing stuff up and. Mrs. McClane sees that. She's like, "Oh, John's still alive. Only John can make someone that pissed off."
Yeah.
No. He's probably dead.
Yeah. I love how we said that this is the more sophisticated action film, and then there's still that stupid crap where she goes, "John's alive."
Yeah.
Woman's alive.
It's full of amazing one-liners, isn't it?
Have you got them all?
Yeah,
I've got loads of them.
Oh, come on, Matt.
Yeah, just
stop holding back on us.
Well, we're almost at the bit where this comes in, actually, so I'm going to skip to it.
Yeah.
So, he's done that bit, drop him in the lift, and he's on top of it, so he sees their reaction. He's
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's not funny.
And they all go chasing him, don't
then they all chase him down, but he...
Or up.
Well, up, actually.
Yeah.
He goes back up the lift shaft.
Yeah.
So I can't remember. Oh, doesn't he jump on top of their lift as they're going back up? I think he does, yeah. And he, hops out a little ducty window thing.
Yeah.
And runs past the 80s boobs poster.
Yeah.
And he taps it. It's really good. He's like, oh again.
And there's a bit, isn't there, when he's looking out of the window to see the fire brigade coming, and there's a woman getting changed in the next building over in the distance, and he's looking at her.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
what?
It's only a brief thing.
Yeah, you can't really see. You can kind of see she's nude.
Right.
But it's not fine details or anything.
Fine details.
So that bit happens. His brother's chased him down his lift shaft. He ends up in the air vents, basically, the aircon thing.
That's another really famous.
And this is one of the bits I can always remember. They always use it on Sky at Christmas time when it's the Sky Movies Christmas Extravaganza. And it's all of these nice Christmas films. Then it just cuts to Bruce Willis going, "Come out of the coast," she said. "We'll have a nice time." And he's just all in the thing and with his lighter, just all cramped in there.
That's true. That is always on the Sky. Oh god, I'm having
use that bit.
I'm having a bit of a dig now, and I don't know if I care. I don't know if this is a real moan, but the Sky Movie thing, the seasons, because obviously you got Halloween, obviously you got Christmas, and there's a few in between, but those ones are always the same films.
Well, it's always the same.
They chuck a couple of the newer releases in, but.
Because everyone likes the old ones. It's Christmas, and the thing is with Christmas, people like the routine.
Well, it's a new tradition, isn't it? Okay.
Christmas movies, how I always watch the. I'll always say It's a Wonderful Life and the black and white Scrooge film till last. I always start on Nightmare Before Christmas, in November. Because it's near Halloween, it's near Christmas, and then I'll leave it for a few weeks. Then when December comes, I'll start watching them now, and then I always end up not watching them all because I've got so many.
Well, we dissed you, me and Erica, behind your back, because I was like, Lee started on his Christmas films already, and I was like, we don't need to do that, let's wait a little bit longer, and then we fully ran out of time. And we said at the end, we went, should we just watch them when Lee starts watching them? We were like, yeah, let's do that next time.
So you have lived longer than you, I've got the experience.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. This isn't out of place. I keep saying it. This is a Christmas film. And I'm really looking forward to the Christmas Ducking podcast.
Ducking hell.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. Go on, Matt.
Merry Ducking Christmas.
What else have you got there?
We talked about when he's
dictionary of gold
on the when he's talking to the police, trying to convince them. He's pulled the fire alarm. He's like, they need to send someone out, and he manages to get them on the emergency radio channel or something.
Yeah, he gets the radio off
the guy he's killed.
Off the guy he's got. Yeah.
And
so
she's
when he
like,
goes to the top?
Yeah.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when he sees a new lady.
yeah.
Right, yes.
And he's up there and he's like, talking to them, and they're like, "You do understand, sir? This is like the emergency broadcast channel. This is for emergencies only." And he goes, "What is it? No fucking shit, lady. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza?" Brilliant! It's awesome.
Yes! Bruce Willis!
Willis.
I remember that really vividly.
And then one of my other favourite ones is when he chucks the. It's not like half of that actually.
Because he does
Al
that
turns
part.
up, doesn't he?
Al turns up in his car. He's walking around. He talks to the security guard. He goes,
The,
Sound of the police.
yeah, they do that.
and he's going back to his car, and doesn't he? The guy's found John McClane at this point, and he's on he's in an office, and the guy's walking along the top of a table trying to shoot him. So, you should have shot me or something.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
He shoots him through the
shoots
table.
He
He goes, "Thanks for the advice, buddy," or something
Yeah,
like that.
well, yeah. At that point, like in the shooting of the film, this is another factoid I've got for us.
Hang on, I just want to make this clear. Lee's not reading off anything. This is from his brain.
Right. Well, no, I did write it down, but I've only written about 3 things down.
Well, you remember
Because I
it
was
as
over cocky about knowing so much about the film. And obviously,
that we both
I'm
fucked
sad
up.
to do that. But anyway, yeah, like when they made the film to heighten the realism of it, they had loud blanks.
All right.
Oh, so extra loud blanks.
Yeah, like extra loud blanks. And when they were shooting that bit, when he shoots him through the table, he permanently damages his hearing.
Really?
Shit.
And also,
That's awful.
that is bad. But you know,
Who did?
John McClane.
Bruce Willis did?
Yeah.
I was going to say because it's really close proximity, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And you can
So
see him wince
permanently like damaged, right? And also, like, this is really funny. Any scenes where Hans shoots a gun, they had to cut away because you got and like wince.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to put the clip on the website because Lee's face.
But in the scene when he shoots,
So he's wincing.
yeah,
Badly.
really badly, right? But
Yeah.
you know the bit when he shoots, what's he called? Takagi.
Yeah.
When he shoots him, you see it and you can see it.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
if you get that scene and put that up on YouTube, you
Yeah.
can see what I'm on about. But every time he
No,
shoots a gun,
that really sticks in my mind. That bit at the start where he kills him and the way he reacts, it did look a bit off kilter. It looked a bit.
Yeah.
It looked a bit like it didn't fit well.
well, maybe he's not used to killing people.
But yeah, but
The character, he doesn't want to. Maybe he don't want to go there and kill anyone.
Yeah,
does he?
for
That's
me,
the thing.
He's a robber, yeah.
His plan is to go in there, get loads of money, and just go. He don't want to kill anyone.
Well, I think it's for me. I think it felt like he's ruthless, but he's not the man that does the killing.
Yeah.
He's got his bitches that do the
hired
killing.
guns.
Yeah, sorry, that's probably more politically
Bitches is like
correct.
equally suitable.
Yeah, yeah, grunts.
His punks.
Yeah,
Punks.
to do the killing.
Yeah.
I guess where are we now? Right, he's upstairs. Go
Yeah.
on.
So Al's turned up. He's had his little look around. He's like, "Oh no, everything's fine." Goes back to his car. Yeah, he walks. He actually does that as well. He walks towards the lifts where there's a guy like with a gun waiting to pop him. And he just looks at his watch and looks around. And he goes, "The hell with this!" And he turns around and leaves. Gets in his car. He's radioing it in, saying it's a false alarm, nothing here. And then at that moment, it cuts to an exterior shot. You just see a body fucking land right on top of the car.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's when Willis is leaning over and goes, "Welcome to the party, pal!"
Yes.
Yeah.
God, like, forget the podcast. Let's just go through Matt's list of amazing quotes because that's what it is.
There's one more, and it's from another classic scene, actually. It comes much later, but it's when basically he's managed to get the C4 and the charges and everything that these guys had rigged around the building to blow it up or whatever.
Where's the glass bit? I know
That's
I'm going
later
back.
on.
That's lit.
Right.
Actually, no, it might
No,
be
I
after
think
this
it's
bit.
Right,
It's this
okay.
bit.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
He's got them, and essentially, he straps them to. I think we've decided it was a computer.
It's a computer monitor and onto a chair.
Yeah.
The C4 on the chair, the monitor on top, screen down. Yeah. Chucks it down the lifts.
And as he does that, he just shouts, "Geronimo, motherfucker!"
That's amazing.
Classic Willis line.
Geronimo.
So yeah, I mean,
is that Geronimo?
Geronimo.
Yeah, Geronimo, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's that's pretty funny, isn't it? But yeah, we have the bit, like, so at this point, when Willis kills the first guy and has his bag, or what the other guy kills, he ends up with the charges, doesn't he, to the C4, and he's talking on the radio to Hans at this point.
Is this where the sort of the bad guys and Hans and that, are they starting to realise that things are not quite going right? Like, this guy is actually...
They think, don't they, that he's a security guard initially. And then once, like, he's off to 2 or 3 other guys, they're a bit like, he's more than this.
Yeah.
And they're getting a bit wondery.
What is he?
Wondery? Is that a word?
Wondery. What is he?
He's a New York cop.
Yeah, but he's not, though, is he?
He is.
Yeah, I know he's a New York cop, but he's something else, isn't he? I don't know.
He's a New York cop. Kind of like the same sort of cop that Riggs is in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, but he's really resilient.
Yeah.
Resourceful. Doesn't
he's
give up.
obviously killed a load of people in New York.
It was a bit like, not Mad Max, Max Payne.
Shall we write a short series of stories before...
prequels.
McClane before Die Hard.
McClane.
The McClane Chronicles.
Live Fast, Die Hard.
Yeah, Live Fast, Die Hard.
I want it to be the...
I feel like that's probably
one of the taglines.
Yeah, it is. McClane Chronicles. I want to know McClane in New York. Oh, I'd love that. A TV series.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks.
With,
Go on, who's going to play?
What's that guy called who plays him in Looper, the young him? Levitt, Gordon Levitt.
Jason
Gordon-Levitt with the
Joseph
prosthetic.
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I don't know if that's a good choice.
Well, have you seen the film
eyebrow
Looper?
where his perfect.
Yeah.
He doesn't look anything like him, does he? He's
No.
got a fake chin.
What was you saying, Matt?
He's got that weird, like, the percent of drawn an eyebrow on, because he's always got the fucking Bruce Willis sort of weird, like, a little bit
To give
wincy.
He's kind of like a miniature Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just going to leave this whole podcast depressed now, thinking, how long do I now have to wait for the John McClane Chronicles to come on Netflix exclusive?
Well, till
we get it written.
Yeah, well, we'll write it. No, that's it, end of podcast. We've got some writing to do.
What happens, I guess we need to go back into it. There's been talk between McClane and the terrorists.
They're like, oh, this guy's bad.
Well, and they want back their charges, don't they?
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially, so they can set off the C4.
Yeah, like a fraudulent debit card transaction.
It happens,
they want the charges reversed back to them.
And then Hans Gruber goes up looking for stuff, doesn't he? And he's climbing around looking at the C4.
Yeah.
For some reason, he goes up there himself. And he ends up with John McClane, doesn't he?
Oh, that scene's...
when he comes out and he's like, oh God, you're one of them.
Oh God, you're one of them.
So and he like puts on like this fake American accent and tricks McClane or not into thinking that he's just a hostage who's escaped, and he gives him a gun and stuff, and he's telling him about how he liked Westerns and Gary Cooper.
Yeah.
And then...
is that what...
that's where the line comes from.
Yeah.
And then... when does he actually say it?
How did we start this podcast saying it's the first serious stylised action film?
But it is
like this.
But no, because it's got all the 80s ingredients.
Yeah.
You come out of it and think, oh, that's really, like, sophisticated. Not sophisticated. It is, though. It's
no, it is
compared to, like, Commando.
Honestly, you're preaching to the converted. It's already my opinion. Now we're looking through it with these things in mind.
Well, it ends up when in a scene where, like, McClane gives Hans Gruber a pistol.
Yeah.
And then Hans Gruber...
He sort of walks away from him.
Gruberless pit.
No, he doesn't give him a pistol. He says...
No, he
does. He gives him an empty pistol.
Oh, no, he does, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he does,
right,
yeah.
Right.
He wanted to...
I can justify this, because in that scene when it's happening, Hans Gruber's trying to walk away from him to grab a gun that he's stashed in the aircon vents at the side.
Oh,
you can see on camera, but McClane can't because it's like obscured by a bit of pipe or something.
Yes.
So there you go, see.
Right,
I was thinking, why is he giving him a gun if he's got that one he's trying to get?
We just wanted to diss you because we feel bad for.
But he also
fucked up loads.
He also gives him like he's got 2 fights left, and he gives him his last fight, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like so, Gruber's thinking, I've got this guy, I'm going to kill him with this gun. Gives him a fight, and he's telling him about the westerns, and then something happens in between. Like, I didn't watch it.
Sort of like, they're talking away, and Gruber thinks, I've got him here. So he like drops his accent. And he sort of turns round on him.
Yeah,
points the gun to his head and goes back into his mouth.
So good.
Yeah,
and then he like clicks to shoot him, and nothing happens. So he goes like click, 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 click. And then he gets his own out, and he goes, "Yippy Ki, motherfucker." And that's where it comes from.
He goes. He's shooting, he goes, "What's wrong? No bullets?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the Yippee Ki line, isn't it, at that point?
Yeah, what was it? Them 2 cops.
So all the cops turn up. And there's that idiot guy called Dwayne.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And they're like... And he's on the phone, he's on the radio too, and he says, "Dwayne!"
Dwayne.
So he's there, no one knows what's going on. They send in this big APC. Armoured personnel character, they all get the SWAT team comes first, don't they? And they just get shot down in the lobby.
Yeah.
Well, because everything goes a bit nuts, doesn't it, really? Like,
and
the police side of it.
Then a big armoured personnel carrier comes up, and some dude with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, they've got a couple of...
Snell!
Yeah. Yeah, they fire a couple of rockets at him, so he's done it. Basically, they play straight at their hands, because they're like, oh yeah, we're just waiting for the FBI to come up. Let the police try and fail. They know exactly what they're going to do for like the hostage handbook type thing.
This is all pre-planned to a degree, isn't it? They know that the police...
with like heavy artillery, stuff to bring in. It's massive.
Yeah. It's all part of the plan.
The FBI turn up.
Turn all the electrics off and stuff, don't they? Is it this point, though?
That's what they want.
Is it... is before this, or is it after this bit with Ellis? Ellis comes back into it and he tries to negotiate with Hans. He's on the radio.
Before.
He's on the radio.
That's where they find out that John McClane's a cop.
Yeah. Hans! Booby!
He says,
Hans! Booby! I'm your white knight!
All caught up, thinking he can do whatever he wants.
He wants to like broker a deal between the hostages and Hans.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Hans just plays him for like a joke, doesn't he? Gets him to tell everything about John McClane, who he is, what his crack is, and then he just realises, oh man, I'm screwed. And they just shoot him. And I was like, thank Christ for that, because he's the most annoying character in it in the world.
But he's on the radio and he's going like, look, tell me you don't know me! Tell me you don't know me! And all this on the radio, isn't he? Like, He's like, no, I'm his best mate! So he's trying to negotiate a deal, isn't he?
Hang on, I want to get to like the banter between John McClane and like his cop guy, because I remember there being a bit more.
Oh yeah, there is
banter about
it's dotted throughout.
What you doing here? And he's like, I just came for a holiday and meet the wife. And they go on about like what BT patrols and like, and they have like cop chat.
Yeah.
Cop-based
chat.
Twinkies.
It's like sprinkled in.
It's twinkly sprinklies.
Yeah.
And he's saying
Twinkie sprinklies.
Yeah.
And he's saying how like he's, why are you a desk cop? Because he said, oh, just on my way home. And he says how he like shot a kid or something. So he didn't want to,
it was
shoot a gun anymore. Yeah. He didn't want to be that sort of cop, so he becomes
important.
like a desk cop, and he's just driving home or whatever. Obviously, he used to be an awesome cop, and now he sits behind a desk. That's why he's fat as fuck.
Just eating all the Twinkies.
That's what we're told. Twinkying it up.
Twinkying it up, sitting behind his desk.
That's it as well. He says to him, so what's even in a Twinkie? And he just lists the ingredients.
Carbonate, soda.
Like Twinkies have
flour,
gone out of
sugar,
Hasn't
colour yellow 5. Things like that.
Hasn't Twinkies like gone out of business now?
They're back now.
Oh, they back?
They got saved because it's like a... You know how America's got no history?
Yeah.
Sorry, America. So they saved the Twinkie factory. Got like a history
National
grant.
heritage.
Yeah, got like a history grant. I've just offended all Americans.
What, or like 4 that we might have
Hey,
potentially
look,
that listen.
there is history in America, but you're still writing your history.
Yeah, it all
Well,
starts
we
in
all.
England.
Aren't we all? Yes.
So, you got the cop banter. The main cops show up and they're like losers. They all get blown up. And the quarterback is toast! That guy says, doesn't he?
Yes.
Oh, that's the brilliant part, yeah. That's why they blew up that
Because he's like,
EP6.
he's getting his hand up her skirt or whatever. He's like
He's doing like a commentary thing, isn't he? Yeah. It's brilliant.
Where's the context for this?
None of what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's the guy when the cops come
The
and he's
hacker guy.
saying how the cops are coming, but he's saying it in the way that's like commentating, and also it's like he's trying to like undo a bra or something. So they're reaching around behind, and he's like, oh man, we got a personnel carrier, and then he gets blown up by the rockets, and he just goes, and the quarterback is toast.
Yeah, that's right.
At this point, the feds come because everything's blown up.
Are we at Johnson & Johnson yet?
Yeah, it's
So the
those
feds,
blokes that make soap and that.
yeah. So the feds come in. Johnson & Johnson. One of them is it Tom Berenger? It looks like Tom Berenger, doesn't it? The one with all the pock marks.
Yeah,
in
it
his
is.
face.
Yeah.
And then there's a younger black dude.
This is brilliant. This bit.
And he comes up and he says to Dwayne, like the cop, says, "Oh, Agent Johnson and Special Agent Johnson were not related."
Does that ever need to be said? I guess it's a joke, isn't it?
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a funny
It's a
joke.
good joke.
Yeah, it is a good joke.
So they basically then
Get the guy to shut the grid down.
Yeah, they turn the power off, which is what Hans Gruber's been after the whole time.
Because they can't do the last bit.
It's genius, isn't it? It just genius. It just turns into this sort of like proper gangster cop film. You know, with the gangsters that are completely sort of like planning. It's a big bank robbery, and that's all it is, really.
But that's
isn't
the thing. You don't realise what you're watching is a heist movie until
exactly.
like someone says, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is a heist movie," because he has all these fake like demands, doesn't he? And he says about, "Oh, I want these people free." Then this one people say, and the guy looks at him and says, "Oh, the 6 people from such and such a place."
Yeah,
and the guy looks and says, "I read about them in Time magazine."
It's a brilliant cop
But
film.
it's all to kind of, it's all
Heist
smoke and
movie.
mirrors, isn't it?
Yeah.
To
throw them off.
I guess all that's happening, and then they go upstairs looking for John McClane again, they get him in an office, don't they? And he's behind, in that room, in this glass room, and they're all like, "Oh, he's in there, what shall we do?" And Groover's like, "Oh, shoot the glass." He's saying it in German, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Shoot the glass!" And because he knows he's got no shoes on.
Yeah.
So he's like, if they do that, he can't get out of the room.
It's a famous scene, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's horrible.
And he ends up with his feet all cut off.
In
And
bits.
he's in the sink. And
I'm alright, keep going.
he's in the sink kind of later on, pulling all
The glass.
bits of glass out. And he's talking out on the radio and saying, "Look, if I don't get through this, I'll tell my wife that I love her or whatever."
His
He's
accent's
like, "You're gonna
brilliant.
get through it. You're gonna, you'll see them or whatever." But like, I mean, it's quite interesting. I guess there's another interesting thing about this film that I was going to say earlier, but I'll save it. Like, what's really interesting is about how he's like a fallible character. Like his feet all get cut up. But you watch the film, and he starts off. He's got like a bright white shirt on. Now at this point, his shirt is brown.
Yeah.
And progressively throughout the film, his shirt just gets dirtier and dirtier, like as it progresses, and it's almost like that's really like strong sort of visual message, isn't it?
Symbolism is huge, pure to grit, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like dirt, and his kind of moral standard, or like he's descending, isn't he? In order to beat the devil, he's got to become almost the devil in a way. That symbolism's there. I mean, without a doubt, like
you say at the beginning, he starts out pearly white, and by the end, he's like sort of
dirty as hell,
dirty, isn't he?
Yeah,
blood oozing out of his feet.
Yeah,
and he's really lost his patience. It's a true story.
So all this stuff happens, and it ends up where they all start moving. McClane's all cut up. They don't know where he is, but his feet are all dodgy, and he's got a brown shirt on.
It's a vest as well. A big
Speak
shirt.
Oh yeah,
it's a vest.
It's a very short sleeve shirt with a low neck.
The shortest of sleeve shirts going.
And what they do, they move all the hostages onto the roof because they say, right, you send a helicopter in to pick up all these hostages. But what Johnson & Johnson do, they fly in an Apache, and they're flying through all the skyscrapers, and old Johnson says to young one, it's like, yeah, it's just like being a Nam.
And he was like, he wasn't even born, was he?
That's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
But so they're flying, all the hostages are on the roof, and what the plan is that they're going to just blow up the roof and kill everyone, so they all think they're dead, so that they can then steal this money and sneak out in a van.
Yes.
That was the plan, isn't it?
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
But McClane happens.
And he comes up onto the roof, and he's like saying, get down, it's going to blow. So it's like shooting.
Yeah, I remember.
Shooting above him to get him downstairs.
It's like, what's it doing?
And like, so they all start legging it downstairs. And the helicopter comes, and they're trying to shoot McClane.
Yeah.
And he legs it off the roof, doesn't he? And jumps off.
That bit's amazing!
Where he slides along the bit. And you're like, he's going to fall off here.
What's he got, the fire
He's tied onto the fire hose, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's sliding down the roof. And the whole roof blows up, kills Johnson & Johnson, but all the hostages have gone downstairs at this point.
Yeah. Yes. Because of McClane?
Because of McClane. So he saved all the hostages, apart from whoever died. But he saved like most of them. But like, the FBI guys, they're like, well, we lose maybe 20% of the hostages. I can live with that.
Don't care.
They don't give a fuck.
Don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A precursor to today's government.
Yeah.
So they're trying to shoot him. The roof blows up. He's tied onto a hose pipe. I don't know how he gets tied.
It's a fire hose that's on the roof.
It's a fire hose.
And he jumps off, and the roof's all blowing up, and he jumps off, and the fire hose comes off the wall because it's all blown up, and he's like sliding down, and he has to fall off the roof.
Such a good scene.
And then he swings in, has to shoot the window out and get back into the building, doesn't he?
He fucking swings down. He's just like.
Yeah,
sound effects.
Yeah, I love that bit because he's just like, it's really tense. Like,
and then the guy's down in the basement at this point, trying to get out in the van.
Yeah.
Yeah, the basement scene. We have where does the limo guy come into this?
Because the basement scene. The van's trying to go.
Right, this is why the limo guy was pivotal. It's pivot. Go Lee, go on. Let's bring it in now.
So they've been loading all these bail bonds and stuff out the safe into this van, and they're trying to drive out, and the limo guy rams them, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just been listening to music all this time. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah. We don't know how long this has been going on for. It's a good few hours.
It must be
to me. 4 hours?
I'd say about 4 hours.
I always think the film happens almost in real time.
It feels that way.
It's a 2 hour long film.
It isn't though. I know.
I'd say it's double time. So 4 hours real time.
Yeah, I think probably. 4 hours. But there's definitely scenes that really feel like real time, which is really smart. But the film isn't. But yeah, 5 hours? No, 4 hours.
But for a film, a big action movie like this, for it to be spaced on one night.
Yes.
It's like the classic thing, isn't it? Like,
what, that he's been sat in the limo just listening to music for 4 hours?
He's been on the phone as well.
Without, chatting to his honeys.
Yeah. With that giant teddy bear.
Yes.
So he takes out the van with his limo.
Yeah.
And then, like, John McClane's back in the building. He has a fight with the henchman German. He beats him up.
Henchman German, that's his name.
It's called Carl, I think. He ties him up in a chain, doesn't he, and leaves him hanging there like dead.
Yes.
And then he goes and finds Hans, and they take his gun off him. But like what John McClane has done, he's sellotape's a gun onto him.
It's brilliant, isn't it? He's just gone. I'll take that gun.
And he's got his wife there, hasn't he?
Yeah. And we don't need to question where he got the tape from because he's in an office.
You see it.
Yeah, office supplies.
You see him see the tape.
Yeah,
and he's all in there. None of it they don't somehow end up with this bit of tape.
No, that's what I like.
It. You don't see what it means. You don't know that he's got a gun on his back, but he's taped a gun onto his back, and it's like he goes in and like Hans is like got his wife hostage there, and like
she's nice, isn't she?
Yeah, and then Hans is there gonna like kill him. He's got one guy with him left.
Yeah,
his wife. And John McClane, he's got his gun on him, and he goes, "What was it you said? Yippy Ki, motherfucker!" He's about to shoot, and John pulls the gun out, blah 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 blah. He shoots him, and then like Hans is like hanging out the window, isn't he?
Yeah.
Onto the watch, his wife's watch.
Which they didn't mention originally.
God,
and it harks back, like you said, when it's the little things like the tape, he notices the tape. They point the watch out right at the beginning. And it's when they introduce Ellis the douchebag, and he's like, "Oh, tell him about the watch. Tell him about the watch."
Oh, yeah!
And it's like, she doesn't say anything. And he's like, "Oh, it's a Rolex." Oh.
Yeah. Classic 80s bling watch, Rolex, another 80s bomb drop.
So then, Hans is hanging out the window, holding on to it. And then, what do? Pop that bad boy off.
Just to,
and then he falls, doesn't he?
Well, this is why you buy a Rolex. I mean, amongst other things, you've got a good clasp mechanism there.
Yeah, it's quite strong.
You can rely upon that.
Quick release.
It can hold a person's weight, but you can also pop it off open quickly, even if you've got the person's weight hanging on it.
Slip straight off.
Yeah, just clean off.
Yeah. I love that I burnt halfway through that sentence and it can't be removed.
We'll have to leave that in.
I'll just live with it.
Yeah. So he falls down in slow motion like.
I want Max to do it. That wasn't as good.
Our latest celebrity. So then
that's the end.
That's it, well, more or less. So he comes down. Like,
he's a hero, isn't he?
He's a hero. He comes down. We didn't even talk about the douchebag news guy.
He doesn't play that much.
No, it isn't that big a thing.
He's played on more.
But anyway, there's
films,
a douchebag news guy out there when they come out.
Yeah.
Saying, "Oh, so what's going on here?"
It's a smart line.
I can't remember what it was, but he's been to their house and
fucking interviewed
annoyed the kids. And then he comes and she twats him one right in his face.
Yeah.
And then after that happens, Carl, what is he called?
German
henchman Carl. He comes down. He's not dead. He was
He's like a zombie man, isn't he?
Comes out like, points his gun in slow motion. Says, "Bow, bow, bow."
Who shoots him?
Ow.
Yes.
Do you know what I love about that as well?
The death jockey
slowly pans up from his gun to his face, and he's actually got gunshot residue on his face. He's got like black powder on his face, and I was like, that is cool, because probably he used blanks, so it'll be real.
God, so that's probably where it comes from, actually.
Never thought, that's cool.
But so he comes back, he's never shot, but he saves of the day. Yeah, he does.
Empties his revolver into him.
It sounds like he's shooting a bloody Magnum, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But guy doesn't shoot people. Fuck me, he's got a big piece.
Yeah.
His gun's pretty big too.
So Die Hard. And then there's music. Oh, where outside is frightful. Well, the fire is so delightful. Just to let you know.
It's iconic for so many reasons. I think we did touch upon a lot of those reasons. It's fun. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
Like, they are different things.
Yeah.
It's action-packed. Even on, like, repeat viewings, I still feel, like, really involved.
You still have that sort of, fuck yeah!
Yes.
Bit.
Really pleased. And like Lee said at the start, I do think that this fits in really well. We have chosen these films on purpose. They pinpoint different points within 80s action films, and this one, it does sort of mark a change. Yeah, a full stop, a change, a slight different
It changed basically what it did. It's like, it made people, like, obviously, like, not... It's not like an actual full stop and people stopped making 80s action movies, you know, things would have come after it. But what it did was, it said, we can take this genre and make it just a little bit more sophisticated, you know. And I think, like, the thing that sets this film apart, there's two things, really, to me. But the main thing, to me, is Alan Rickman. He is so bloody good. You know what I mean? Normally, like, you compare this to, like, right, it's funny because it's both the same guy, but the baddies in Mad Max 2 and in Commando, right, they're both Vernon Wells, right? So you got Vernon Wells, camp baddie, right? And then you got Alan Rickman, bloody awesome actor.
You put awesome actors into action films and they become something else. You need these anchors of believability in order to go through this journey. Sort of, make these Hollywood blockbusters, and it's important.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I was going to say was, like, I think Bruce Willis in this film is amazing.
I wondered if you were going to say Alan Rickman and Bruce Willis.
I think more Bruce so Willis Alan Rickman, right? Because that's what differentiates it. But what Bruce Willis brings to, like, this kind of action hero archetype thing, it's different to what we'd seen up to this point in a lot of ways. Like, it is a full 80s massive action movie, but it's an action hero who's doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, he's having a bad day.
And you get that in loads of films, like Arnie and Commando. He doesn't really want to be there, but you can see that secretly he loves killing people.
Yes, you said he loves killing people.
He's like the god of death. Right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And like, you see Rambo, he kind of don't want to do it, but he's also like a god of death. But whereas, like, Bruce Willis in this film, like, and the thing is, like, John McClane, the character, he's turned into a twat in the later films, but in this film and the first three films,
it's pure.
It's kind of like the character's more pure, and I think, like, later on, I've not actually seen them, but that's because, like, Bruce Willis is because Bruce. I don't want to see him, right? Because Bruce Willis has become a twat.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, we're assuming, but
you see, he's not hungry anymore, right?
Yeah,
and that's the difference.
Well, you see him on the interviews, and he's just not
bothered. He's not there. He
doesn't care. He's fulfilling his duty.
Like, this is the film that made him, right? And this is why he's so good, because he meant everything. This is his chance.
Yeah,
he took it. Yeah.
It's
and
almost.
He's become lazy. He's done a Marlon Brando.
It's almost one of those films. It's like lightning in a bottle. You've got a few different people trying to make their mark and do really well, and what they've created is just a state. It's just brilliant.
Like, because honestly, like, look at Bruce Willis's films, right? I can only think of two films that he's better in.
Unbreakable.
I wasn't going to say that, but he's really good in that.
Yeah, he is.
Right,
yeah.
Pulp Fiction and 12 Monkeys.
And Unbreakable.
So
3 films.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, out of everything he's done that I've seen,
same, I agree.
Fifth Element he's pretty good in as well.
Yeah, Fifth Element is good.
Like Fifth Element,
right, so he's done 5 good films.
Essentially.
Nothing.
Fifth Element, he's playing the same character almost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like, it's
totally.
It's literally the same character.
It is. So, do we rate these films? Do we rate them? We do, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, we have before.
We have in the past. Right. Already done a couple.
In my mind,
when you
I think I've given the other 2 that we've done, so Commando and Mad Max 2, I think I've given them 4.
Right.
I'm going to give this a 5. What? With a caveat.
Yes.
I actually probably like Mad Max 4 better. Mad Max 2 better.
Right. Yeah.
Which sounds really weird.
It's really hard, isn't it?
Because this is a 5-star film, and it makes me wish I'd given Mad Max 2 5. Because in my heart of hearts, I probably like Mad Max 2 better.
Well, I know we normally go Lee and Matt, but I'm gonna just butt in and tie into this. I gave Mad Max 4. I'm pretty sure I gave Mad Max 4. I'm giving this a 5, and I'm not going to put that caveat in. I honestly, for me, it feels... Yeah, this feels more complete. As a piece of cinema...
Maybe that's why I didn't give Mad Max 4 stars. There's something I like more about Mad Max.
There's something more artistic and special.
This is like, if you're going to make an action movie in the 80s, make this.
Yeah.
Or you make Predator, or you make Aliens,
yeah.
or you make Terminator 1.
There's something really
right. There's them 4 films in the 80s. Action movie.
Imagine that box set.
Oh. Yes.
Jizz in my pants.
There's a copyright strike.
Yeah. Matt?
Oh God, it is. It's a good one, man. I always do this. Every time we do this, we get the scores. I just go, I've not thought about this.
You just bottle it.
Every time I forget. I'm like, we actually score these things. I just write stuff down.
There's no criticism on your score, and there never will be. Yeah. It's personal.
I can't remember what I give Mad Max now. I think it was quite high.
I don't remember.
I think from my mind we all give it 4.
I think we all gave it 4.
Yeah, I think we all give it 4. We all give it 5. I think it was 4 though.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I do think you've both made valid points on this. Actually, is that sort of when you say what's an 80s action film? Like Lee's just pointed out, they're the ones you think of straight away.
Yeah.
And for me anyway, this is probably one of the ones I go to first, just because it's up there, innit?
Because it's Christmas once every year, so it's always
So
there.
it's always in
and
your
it's
mind.
like this is what, and this is the thing, right, about this film. I've seen it absolutely bloody loads of times. Out of all action movies.
Same, yeah.
I think that's why I find it hard to remember when I first saw it.
Yeah,
I've seen it that many times.
You know, unless you class Raiders of the Lost Ark as an action movie, which it is, and it is. Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's the best action movie ever made, but it's not like grown-up action movie. There's a difference. It's a family action movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't fit into our season, does it?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. But I mean, if I'm going to come, which it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I mean, so when I look at this film, I kind of think, is there any bit of it that like seems unnecessary? Right?
Yeah.
Which a lot of films you look at, or could they have done that better?
Because even in Mad Max 2, there was a couple of things.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about Mad Max, is that it is kind of like low budget Australian action movie that's bloody awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. See, this is the thing. This is a 5-star film, right? It's perfect. But I love Mad Max.
Yeah, there's a different thing.
Mad Max, it doesn't need to be perfect, and that's why it's not. Anyway, yeah, Matt's score.
No, I completely agree with you. I think we're all in agreement.
Could feel the passion there.
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, I didn't mean to shoot you down.
No,
I agree with you. I need to know Matt's score.
I'm torn. I am torn between 4 and a 5, and I don't want to feel like I'm just a bloody sheep following you two with your 5s.
I don't think that. I never think that. No, don't think that. I think it needs to just be what you genuinely think, and also don't think too much at the same time.
No, I'm going to go 5. Yeah,
it feels just like a 5.
Yeah, it's epic. Like, it actually has a nice beginning, middle, and end to it.
Yeah, it does.
Just good.
Flows well.
Sets it up nice. You get the nice bits in the middle, and then the end is just like everything's blown up. Everyone's getting shot. It's all going down. There's all the one-liners. Bruce Willis is minting it. Rickman. That's it.
I mean, you're right. It doesn't just deliver. It doesn't just deliver on all expected elements of an action film.
Yeah.
It defines them.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think like what the film does, it's all set in one big tall building.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd, right?
Yeah.
The Raid,
yeah.
Right, it is this kind of enclosed action movie that can be set over the space of a few hours because it's in an enclosed location. It's not like, I've got to get from here to an island and kill 100 men like in Commando.
There's more ability for real time, logical. It makes sense.
There's no, it doesn't need to have complications because it's all set within this one building.
It's geniusly confined, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, just imagine if it was Commando 2. Just imagine.
I'm never going to be able to let that go.
Just imagine if it was John Matrix instead of John McClane.
I'm going to watch it again now.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
Yippee Ki, motherfucker.
That would have been good.
Watch out for the chopper.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Right. I think that sums it up. I hope you watched it. We always say this. If you didn't, go back and watch it. Also, make sure you add it to your Christmas list. It's a brilliant Christmas film.
Yeah.
We've been the Ducking Review Show, and thank you for listening.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yippee Ki, motherfuckers!